There is one preference that I do recommend you change that will actually improve the efficiency of trimming. When we've been using trimming prior to this, we've always needed to switch over to the trim tool when I wanted to do any kind of a ripple trim, where I actually not only trim the media, but I also delete the gap. And this can be rather cumbersome, because as you become more experienced in editing, you'll want to always do these two steps back to back. So why do two steps? If you go to the Preferences, and that's under Premiere Pro on a Macintosh, and under the Edit menu on a Windows machine, it would be right here at the bottom, you can change the way trimming works in Premiere Pro. So I'll select Preferences and choose Trim. Now, there's two things I want to show you can modify here. First of all, you can change the large trim offset. The default is 5, and if you recall, when we went into the trim monitor, that was one of the default durations for the buttons. So if you always want to do, say, 1 second trims, you can enter either 30 frames if you're doing 30 frames a second, 24 frames if you're doing film style, or 25 frames if you're cutting footage that was shot in PAL. But this is the checkbox that will save you lots of time. And that is, allow selection tool to choose roll and ripple trims without the modifier key. So if I click on this and I hit OK, when I put my cursor over one of these clips to do a trim, it automatically chooses the yellow ripple trim instead of just the plain red trim. Rolling, of course, stays exactly the same, and if I do need to do just a traditional trim, when I put my cursor on top, I can simply hold down the Command key or the Control key on Windows and temporarily toggle back to a traditional red trim tool. So I suggest you make that change in your preferences, and you'll find that trimming will go even faster.